Hello, and welcome back to Spittin' Sports with Lamar. I am Casey Lamar, and I'm coming at you from the 256. Going to be doing my NFL picks for Week 14. This is Week 14. So let's go ahead and get right to the picks. Oh, I wanted to say, last week I went 9-7. I'm at 120 and 72 overall, 120 wins and 72 losses. So we're getting there. We're getting there. But let's just keep growing that winning margin. But anyway, let's get to the picks. Thursday night football tomorrow night. You do have the Jacksonville Jaguars visiting the Tennessee Titans. The Titans, they had to play comeback heroics against the Jets last week. Was surprised by that, but they're also playing one of the worst teams in the league right now. The Jags are awful. Good defense, but no offense. Much like the Titans, good defense, no offense. Titans have a little more offense than the Jags. I'm going Tennessee, the most inconsistent team in the league. You never know what you're going to get out of the Tennessee Titans, but I do think the Titans will get the job done over the Jags at home on Thursday night, tomorrow night. Give me Tennessee. Next, you have the Jets and the Bills. Who really cares a whole lot about this game? Sorry if you are a fan, but not many people will care. But I'm going to go Bills. Bills at home. They've looked much better as the season has gone on compared to where they started. But I'll go Bills over the Jets at home. Next, you have the Giants at Redskins. The Giants they've woke up. Obviously, the Redskins, their quarterback situation is not good. They got beat up by the Eagles on Monday Night Football. I'm going to go Giants on the road against the Redskins. Give me the Giants to make it 6-8 now, 6-9. They're on that'll be their fifth win if they win this weekend, I believe. But either way, I think the Giants win. They're in a much better situation than they were earlier in the season. Next, you have the Saints off that close, hard-fought loss against the Cowboys on Thursday Night Football last week at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the only other team to beat them this year besides the Cowboys. But I think the Saints avenged that opening week loss to the Buccaneers. Fitzmagic has worn off, and I think the Saints go to Tampa and get it done. Next, you have the Patriots at the Dolphins. I don't think there's much you have to say about this one. Yes, the Patriots are on the road. They don't play as well on the road as they do at home. They haven't lost a game at home. All their losses have come on the road. But I think the Patriots at Dolphins, the Patriots are just too good for their division. Give me the New England Patriots to beat the Dolphins. Next, you have the surprise in Lamar Jackson. He's 3-0 in 3 starts this year, but I believe that'll be 3-1 after this week. I do believe both teams will score points. Obviously, the Chiefs, with their offense, is ridiculous. The Ravens, they get to play a not-so-great Chiefs defense. But I do think the Ravens lose this one, and Lamar Jackson loses his first game as a starter, assuming he starts, which I don't see why he wouldn't. But I'm going Chiefs over the Ravens. Next, you have the Colts at the Texans. The Texans are still riding high. They haven't lost a game since opening 0-3. But the Colts, they looked terrible last week against Jacksonville. They lost 6-0. They stopped that Andrew Luck hot streak. But I'm going with the upset of the weekend right here. I'm going Colts to knock off the Texans and end that winning streak. Last week was just terrible. There's no right way to explain it out of Andrew Luck and the Colts. But I think they right that ship. I expect both teams to score some points here. 30-27, 30-24, somewhere in there. But I expect the Colts to take out the Houston Texans and give them their first loss in a long time. Now we have the Falcons and the Packers. Going into the season, you would have thought this would have been a huge matchup for playoff seedings. But now it's just two teams that aren't making the playoffs more than likely unless a miracle happens. And nobody really cares. The Packers have fired their coach. The Falcons, they've only won 4 games to this point. I believe it's still only 4 games. I don't know. They're just both terrible right now. Packers, they've only won 4 games to this point. I believe so as well. I don't really know what to say. The Packers lost at home to the Cardinals. It's a flip of a coin. I'm going Falcons. I'll go Falcons in this game to knock off the Packers. I just don't really know what to say about either of these teams, but I'll go Falcons over Packers. Next, the last of the noon games are the 1 o'clock Eastern games. You got the Panthers at the Browns. Panthers are struggling extremely bad right now. There's no other way to put it. They've lost, I think, 5 in a row now. it's shocking how they've fallen apart to this at this point in the season. The Browns, they've been up and down, up and down. Got beat by Houston last week, but I'm just going to go home team. I'll go Cleveland Browns to beat the Panthers. Baker Mayfield, I expect him to have a pretty good day and beat the Panthers. Although Christian McCaffrey is killing it for the Panthers right now, and they still aren't winning games. But on to the 3 o'clock round of games. You got the Broncos at the 49ers. 49ers got absolutely destroyed last week by the Seahawks. The Broncos, big news. Emmanuel Sanders looks like he tore his Achilles in practice. So highly unfortunate for the Broncos, but their defense is too good for the 49ers, I believe. I think the Broncos, even missing their number one receiver, I think they beat the 49ers on Sunday. Next, you have the Bengals at the Chargers. The Bengals, in a world of struggles. The Chargers, they're riding high. They just beat the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday night. And they're one of the better teams in the AFC. I'm going LA Chargers to knock off the Bengals on Sunday. Next, a game that who really cares? You got Lions at the Cardinals. Coin flip. Cardinals, sure, they beat the Packers last week, but I think they lose to the Lions this week. I'm going Detroit Lions over the Cardinals. Next, you got the Steelers at the Raiders. Not much you really have to say here. Even though the Raiders gave the Chiefs a run for their money, 40-33, they lost to the Chiefs last week. Steelers, too good for the Raiders. Steelers get the job done over Oakland. Eagles at Cowboys, huge matchup. These two are going to duke it out until probably the last week of the season to see who's taking the East. But I like the way the Eagles are playing. Cowboys are obviously playing phenomenal as well. You can't deny that. The Cowboys are playing out of their mind. The Eagles, they looked good on Monday night. They're starting to get the gears rolling, it looks like. I think the Eagles are going to fight, and I think they'll probably take the East at this point. I know a lot of people wouldn't agree with me, but I'm going to go Philadelphia Eagles at the Cowboys. I think they take down the Cowboys on Sunday. Next, you have the Rams at the Bears. The Bears, not a good week last week. Still don't have Trubisky back, I believe. But I'm going Rams even with Trubisky. I think the Rams take it home on Sunday Night Football. Too good when all is said and done for the Bears. Give me the LA Rams. Next, you got the Vikings at the Seahawks. The Vikings, they're in a struggle right now. They're fighting to try to just make the playoffs at this point. The Seahawks, they've looked good recently. But I think the Vikings are in a must-win situation on Monday Night Football. And I think the Vikings do that. I'm taking the Vikings on Monday night. But that is the full slate of games. No bye weeks. Again, this week, I believe. Another full slate. Everybody's done with byes. It's just we're in the home stretch now for fantasy football, for real football, for all of it. But that is my picks. Let me know what your thoughts are for the games this weekend down in the comments below. Leave a like, share the content, subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more videos like this. But this has been Spittin' Sports with Lamar. I am Case Lamar. I look forward to talking to you guys in the next one.